on you too. You guys want to all make sure your mics are on. You have to hold it. Oh, you have it. Just in case. It won't work for in here, but in case she does get us connected. I'd like to call to order the September 20th, 2025 Lynn Valley Lake Property Owners Association Board of Directors meeting. Roll call.
Dan Coleman. Dennis Keegan.
Julie Miller-Childs.
Wayne Scott.
Terry Barnhart.
Are there any visitors here? Anybody new? Hi.
Hi, I'm Bobby Smith. It's been a long time since I've attended one of the meetings.
Hi, Bobby.
We do have the volume, but no.
Yep. Okay. There we go. Got volume. Okay. Bobby, can you tell us what you do for us?
I'm security guard at front gate, Wednesday through Sunday. I'm
Excellent.
the guy nobody likes because I'm the one enforcing the rules.
And we do, and we appreciate everything that you guys all do for us. We really do. I know there's been a couple of hiccups up there, and thank you for everything you've done. We're trying to make sure that only people that belong here get in, so if you have somebody coming down, please make sure you have a way for them to get in, or they're not gonna probably make it in. And hopefully, as things progress, we'll get them computers and they'll be able to call you and, you know, do things like that if they have to, but, we'll just take it one day at a time. Anybody else new? Okay. Anybody else new?
I raised my hand. That gal down there.
Yeah.
Brenda Russell, and I work with the POA office as the office administrator.
Thank you, Brenda. Next month, we do plan to have superintendents to come in to do superintendent reports, so hopefully you'll get to see the faces of all of our Lynn Valley Lake superintendents, and they can report on their specific departments. It's gonna take a little bit off of Pam so that we know who's responsible for what and what they're working on. I'd like approval of the August 16th, 2025 Board of Director meeting minutes.
A motion that we approve those minutes.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? I have kind of a short president's report. I'm just gonna touch on a few topics, and we'll go into them deeper as we move on down the road here. So I hope everybody's seeing some improvements here.
Yes.
Okay.
Very nice.
Again, I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but we cannot thank all the volunteers enough for everything they do. And I'm talking committees, the people that have been up helping Wayne, the people that helped on the dock. It's been just overwhelming how much this community's come together, how much you've supported us as a board, and how much you've cared about the amenities that we have here. We want to continue this. We're hoping that it continues into next year, so please vote for us. Hashtag keep the board 2026, but we want to keep the momentum rolling, and we want to keep seeing the changes and hopefully fixing everything that needs to be fixed here. Whether you're working there, you're bringing food, beverages, working on a committee, or just there for moral support, it has brought the community together. If you want to meet your neighbors, your friends, or your people that could be your friends, please, volunteer. Rec committee's going to be doing fall decorating at 2 o'clock today. I'm sure they would love volunteers up there. More people we have, the less time it takes. We're getting closer to completion of the mailbox shelter. The boat slip is completed. Cabin A has been recited, and we're going to be moving on to painting, and we'll be working on the exterior of the community center probably within the next month or two. That's been pushed off a little bit. Austin Dimmitt has graciously offered to paint the guard shack, the mailbox shelter, and cabin A for us. We're going to be looking for volunteers soon to paint the interior and the exterior of the bathhouses. If there is someone that would be willing to lead this project, I would love the help. I'll definitely work with you, but, you know, we're gonna go ahead and paint the interior of all the bathhouses and then the exterior of 2 and 5. We've renewed our insurance for the next 12 months, and we are continuing to work with ongoing litigation. And per the court's instructions, we plan to enter into required mediation soon. We attended the tax sale, the Lynn Valley Lakes POA, purchased one property. The real estate committee has been instrumental in making this happen. They are also working on a plan for next year. The office and the finance committees worked tirelessly scrubbing the information that was transferred to QuickBooks, learning new processes and helping the community. While this continues to be an ongoing process, hopefully the office is seeing some light at the end of the tunnel. Our upcoming priorities are going to be to start working on the budget for 2026. Sent an email out yesterday to Pam and the board stating that I would like rough numbers on budgets by October 15th so that we can start working on where we're going to go to next year. I'm hoping we can continue to serve this community and be progressive with our improvements. And as I've said before, if you have any concerns, questions, or comments, email us. We do answer our emails. We do pay attention to them. So let us know if you have any concerns or even contact us in person. Dennis, did you have anything you wanted to add today?
I just want to reiterate what Julie said about thanking volunteers on committees, volunteers on special projects. I mean, the amount of money that it saves the community and improves the community, not to mention just camaraderie between members, can't be overstated. So that's pretty much where I was at, and so that was it.
We have Doug here for spillway update.
I haven't seen Doug.
Doug, going once, going twice.
Oh, boy. He put this on?
Because there's a lot on the agenda for
Yeah, there is. We are currently in the process of trying to obtain funds for the spillway, and I know I couldn't explain this as well as Doug could.
He got contacted by, one of the government agencies that we're going through, and they said that they earmarked some money. All they had to do was get this application in, and that would go through.
So I have in front of me an application for state cost sharing assistance, and this is for the high hazard potential, dam rehabilitation application. I think.
And that's number,
Oh, there he is.
Here he comes.
Okay.
Julie,
You wanna
that's
circle back
number
to it?
8 on the
Right,
agenda. Okay.
right, but I do want
Okay.
him to try to explain a lot of this, so we're just gonna let him walk in and do it.
Let's clap.
Ready?
Doug!
You're up. You're sitting here mumbling about the spillway, and I know you can explain it way better than I can.
Oh, okay, sorry. Just
That's
got,
okay.
It's on.
it's on. Did I turn it off?
No, you're good.
The
Okay,
light's
great.
on.
So the state wrote us an email on the 8th, or the 9th, and said, hey, on the 8th, we decided to open a $1.1 million worth of money for your spillway. There's 12 other candidates, and you have 22 days to finish your plans, get a permit, and turn in the paperwork. So we've engaged the engineer, who's on vacation. So he comes back tomorrow. We should be able to finalize those things and submit a plan. The challenge for the board is to play the guessing game. If there's 1.1 million, there's 12 candidates, and the state says we're gonna give priority to people with a permit, we have to get through the permit process. The engineer is saying $700,000, max grant is $500,000. That would be almost half of the total available money, and the state is gonna say no to 11 other people so they can say yes to 2 or something like that. So it's a guessing game. I think we're better off getting some money out of that. If we put up $70,000, we'd essentially get $250,000 to work on the spillway. So that's the recommendation.
And when do you anticipate the work would start? I mean, when do you anticipate we're gonna hear something back on the,
They said they would try to give approvals November 1st.
okay, once
Yeah.
that happens, then when do you anticipate we would start working on the spillway?
I think it's open to us. We have a year or two to do it.
Oh,
So,
okay,
Yeah, don't have
okay.
to do it quickly, we just have to do it.
We just
So,
have to do it.
Yeah. And-
Excellent.
And quite frankly, this money probably opened up because others who got bigger numbers didn't spend all their money. And, you know, the timing is interesting. We have to turn it in by the 30th of September, which is also the end and beginning of the fiscal year. So they might get it on the 30th, act on it that day, and then it's 2025 monies.
Okay.
So
Okay,
that's what we know.
manager's report.
Okay, let's see, I'll start with the bad news. We've had a couple of people that were past residents of Lynn Valley Lakes Pass. Jack Colgan, he and his wife Judy lived here for like 14 years. He recently passed away. He was also, besides being a resident, he was on our architectural committee, he was on the city council. He was very instrumental. He and his wife took care of the miniature golf. If you all remember when it was painted all colorful, different colors, that was Jack and Judy. Also, Chris John passed away after a long battle with strokes and diabetes, that type of thing. Her celebration of life is today up in New Century at their field house. Which I plan to attend that. Jack's funeral is next week. Barb Short, who used to live here, she was our bingo caller for many, many, many years. She had a kidney removed yesterday. There was a mass on it. I haven't had an update yet today. So moving forward, we still continue on our mowing schedule. I did include the mowing schedule, and I apologize for not getting that to you guys sooner, because I did have it. Monday and Tuesday, they mow around what we call the ball field, to Lynn Valley Boulevard, from Muellery Road, all around the front entranceway. Wednesday and Thursday, mow and weed eat the campgrounds, the roadways, bathhouse 2, the boat ramp, the roadsides again, the Waterfell area, and the fire station. Friday, this area, the clubhouse area. They're working on straightening and cleaning up the campground culverts. I don't know if any of you have driven up around the campground in the last couple weeks. It's a mess because of the water project. Yeah. So, and I do not get a report on when the roads are going to be closed. So, just watch for signs and always have in your mind an alternate route of how to get to your lot, especially if you live down off Holiday for right now, because that's where most of the work is.
They said that the next road is wherever the boring machine is parked. That's what they told, I had to stop and talk to the superintendent, cause it's my road.
Yeah, they were up a lot by the campground yesterday. I didn't drive down on Holiday to see.
There's one on
Coming up
Holiday,
Stamper next week.
Starcraft and Holiday, they've got a ditch witch boring machine.
Okay, so Starcraft and Holiday. The cleaning ladies has done some deep cleaning in the bathhouses. Do we know on painting yet when that might happen?
ASAP.
Okay.
You need to get a volunteer committee
Okay.
together.
Because I was holding off on doing the power washing of the outside of the buildings because all the cobwebs are horrible this time of year.
Yeah, I will
So-
try to let
Okay.
you know
And
a
then,
week in advance.
okay, that'd be perfect, thank you. The dusk to dawn lights, I know Jeff had been working on those and the bucket truck went down. The fuel injection pump went out. We ordered one online, unfortunately it was not the right one. we've learned that there's a place in Iola that works on those, rebuilds those. So I wanna try to get a price and see where we're at with that. You know, we spent $3,000 on that truck. Do we wanna spend $3,000 on a fuel injection pump?
Right.
I don't
Next
know.
week, something else goes bad.
Right.
What kind of truck is it?
I don't know.
Is it a Ford truck, like a Ford bucket truck?
It's a bucket truck, yeah.
You find out, I do work in the car business, I'd be happy to help.
Well, we've had a mechanic looking at it already, so, I mean, 24 hours, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Disc off is being mowed on Wednesday or Thursday or as needed. The shelter house was power washed and cleaned out on Thursday. The French drain was cleaned out on Thursday. We have ordered a handicap toilet for the downstairs here, for the women's side. I don't know what the delay is in getting it, so Louis was checking on that. He did not find out yet if it's in shipment. The backhoe, it's going into slow mode. This might be another thing Mitch could maybe look at. It's throwing up a code, but it's a Case backhoe, and Case is very stingy about sharing their codes. So it may have to go to a Case mechanic to have the error code diagnosed. The mailbox area, Louis had gotten a price on the concrete blocks for behind the area there, and I was waiting on the board. Are we gonna replace them with that, or?
Can we move the ones from the shelter house to the,
That's not enough. It's gonna require, I believe it's 20,
Plus, I kinda like those down there. I
To
just hate
protect
to see somebody drive through it.
yeah. Yeah, after we put them there, it's like, why had we not put something up there before?
Okay. Let's go ahead and take a vote on that.
Well, or just a consensus, it doesn't necessarily need to be a vote, but, on the back side of the mailbox,
The railroad ties are that are rotted.
Half of them are gone now. Anyway, they're just,
Is that gonna hold all the dirt back?
yes,
yeah,
Yes.
they definitely would.
they're 4 feet long, and I believe they're 2 feet tall. And it would take 20 of them.
And that's 1,600.
1,600 plus tax, that would be the
Did you get more
delivered.
than one quote on those?
No, I don't know of anybody.
there's not that
Wayne, do
many
you know
people
anybody
that
else
have
that
them.
make,
I was, well, when I saw the quote, I had called about the same blocks and over at, is it Whistle Ready Mix?
Yeah.
They're like $40 a block. So you do the math on it and it comes in about half the price on what the quote is.
do they deliver them?
No. That's the thing
And we
we'd
do
have
not
to,
have anything to haul them.
so,
Frame for those.
Yeah.
so.
Well, our backhoe will lift them, yeah. But then we have backhoe issues.
So-
It's-
I'd say let's check it, let's check the price over there and see if we can come in lower than $1,600.
Okay, that's fine.
So,
Table that next month.
Well, table it until you get some pricing, we don't gotta vote on it.
That's fine. No, that's fine.
True, okay.
Ordered a load of cold patch that was received, and that's, to patch the chip and seal, the bad areas in the chip and seal. We're gonna be inventorying the tools in the maintenance shop to see what is needed for next year's budget, or an idea of that. The camera we had a camera, at the north gate, it is not working. Louis checked that out yesterday, and ants had gotten in it, and it's toast. So, Julie, I'd like to get with you, cause I know you'd like to get one at the, RV storage, and possibly we could link the two together, or get two ordered, if we can get
Yeah,
together on that.
let's work on that.
Okay. barricade around the downstairs parking lot, which it says parking lot right up here. We have some metal posts down at the golf course that was left from the fence project. And Louis thought we could use those to put something back up around that, especially with winter time coming up. And we've probably been lucky, no one's driven over the little edge so far. So if you're all good with that, I'd like to get that project on our list.
Absolutely.
I've asked that the flagpole at the community center be moved out because unfortunately we've been having to put the flag at half-staff quite a bit here lately. And when we do, the flag hits the building. So if we move it out on the other side of the sidewalk, we will not have that issue. The no parking signs were put up at the boat ramp yesterday. Need to get with Doug and Dennis on the balance of the signs, on where you want those to go. The pool, the big pool here is winterized. The baby pool has not been yet, but it will be this next week. This weekend is the last weekend for the front pool, so it will be winterized next week. So those will all be shut down and finished. We've had some equipment, besides the bucket truck and the backhoe, the water plant, we've had pump go out. They got the pump rebuilt. Then the motor had an issue, so we had to purchase a motor. That's probably gonna be around, I don't think we've received the bill yet. It's probably gonna be around $13,000, unfortunately, especially since, you know, the water plant's gonna be going away at some point. So hopefully, well, I don't know. Water plant is owned by the city of Lynn Valley by paper, and Lynn Valley POA maintains it and pays for it. So, I don't know if there would be any kind of compensation or if they'd let us try to possibly sell some of those pumps that we've put in there or not. Also, the controller for the turbidimeter went out, and that was $3,700, so. The new irrigation pump, we reported, I believe, last month that that was installed, for the control box, and that's working wonderful. Katie continues with some tournaments. She has one actually tomorrow, the Adrian Optimist from Adrian, Missouri. The old ice machine that's downstairs, that used to be upstairs. I'll cover that on the surplus list. That's on the agenda. And also the AED, so. I believe, one other thing, still working on the items in RV storage that the city, gave us a violation letter on this year. There's 4 items that, will be removed, hopefully this next week. The gentleman that hauled the gravel in for us, he is going to haul those out. I believe there was the last pontoon boat that was on the violation list, I believe was taken out yesterday. There's the Ford van that sits just by the front gate. We have had the police run the tag on it, and it came back to a lady in Kansas City, not a property owner. I don't know if she sold it to a property owner, but the property owner that Margene connects it to says she doesn't know anything about it, of course. So I messaged this lady on Messenger yesterday, she hasn't responded yet. So we'll see if I get a hold of her that way. I've sent her regular mail, certified mail, so it may be just get it to Rod and
Yeah.
see what we need to do from there, so. Still working on that, and I think that's it.
Okay, thank you.
You're bet.
Jay?
Jay?
Quick question, and just curious, just on that, because there are a couple things relating to the city, and I listened to the council meeting the other night, and they were talking about decommissioning the water plant and stuff, so they actually own the water plant?
By paper, yeah.
Okay, only thing, two things, I'm just kinda curious with the current engagement with the city, if, how that's going, and then also the other thing, on the water plant, even though we've got all this great thing with Lacine, I mean, as a backup source, or is there any use for that, for the golf course and such, so.
There's still a line that would divert water into the irrigation lake. Other than that, I don't know. You know, you just heard how much money we've spent on it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I get it.
And it's
And
just gonna continue to nickel and dime us.
And as far as any kind of, I mean, we know as much about the water plant project as you guys do, or the water project. I mean, we don't know what it's gonna cost, when it's, you know, when the new fill station's opening, how you're gonna get,
It's their burden though, if they decommission it.
yeah.
So they actually do it, they own it, we're operators.
Right.
Got it. Thanks.
And I would think if they would, I probably shouldn't say this out loud, if they would want to deed it back to us before it gets to that point, so it's on us, we don't wanna accept that.
No.
Can't imagine how many thousands of dollars that would cost to decommission it.
Okay, thank you, Pam.
You bet.
Office managers report, Brenda.
Okay. For those of you that I have not met yet, like I said, my name is Brenda Russell. Just recently married, so formally it was James, which is how everybody knows me in the office. This is my first board meeting as the POA administrator for the office. My background, I spent 11 years with Trevi Pay in Kansas City, and I reported directly to a board of directors there, so I'm used to this type of interaction. My expertise is in data analytics, communication, and reporting. Through the years, I've done dashboards, project management, culture engagement, so I've had an array of experience. What I'm bringing to the office is to help them streamline their processes, so that we can, one, help the budget, cut down on cost, and make our office more efficient for the community. So as far as the office, just wanted to give you some insight into what our office is, what we do. We have 3.5 employees. When I say 3.5, I say that because I have 2 full-time employees that are 40 hours a week. I have 1 employee that's 30 hours a week, and then I have a part-time employee, and then myself. When you look at that, we have 3,500 members that are residents or non-residents that we're servicing. So it's a lot of work within the office that we're handling. We do about 2,000 manual sales transactions a month. That's quite a bit. Obviously, in the summertime, annual assessment time, those transactions go way up. And all of those transactions are manual. And when I say that, I mean everything we do is hands-on. And that's because we don't have the automation within our system to transact without some type of human touch. So that's one of the things that we're working on as we're going forward, is to find ways to automate. So automation is our primary focus right now, and I have a big shout out to Rhonda Keegan. She has been essential in helping me identify where we can find some automation internally without the extra cost of another program. So we have been working on that. We'll continue to work on ways to find items that would help us, or applications that would help us that are cost efficient to the office. As far as our core responsibilities within our office, we handle payroll across all departments in Lynn Valley. So maintenance, golf course, water, sewer, we handle all the payroll. That's quite a bit. And again, it's pretty it's not something, it's not a touch of a button. So like I said, everything we do, it's manual, and that's just because of what we have as far as our systems. We handle the deeds, meaning that when somebody's deeded or when they transfer their lot, then we handle all that, recording it in the POA so that all the records are up to date and on your account. There was a backlog of those, mostly because we brought in a new program and there was a lot of data that we had to clean, and so there was a backlog. We did some reorganization within the office. We are now up to date and we are handling all those deeds in real time. And that's just since July, so we've been busy. We also service within the office, cabin, clubhouse, camping rentals, all that's through the office. Again, that's done with a book. It is paper, it is not automated. Water and sewer requests and all the payments, we handle that. The gate cards, the remotes, the applications, your mobile apps, all those, they set up in the office. Again, there's a lot more to that. It's not a touch of a button. You have to record it, you have to set it up in the system, so each of those, it takes time for the girls. Permits, so we do all the permits for the boats and for your golf carts, and that is also, not only are you giving the permits, but you have to record it, you have to take the insurance docs. Again, it's a lot of work that we handle. And then we handle all the mail. So you can imagine with a community of this size, the mail that's coming in, they are distributing that. They are making sure it gets to the right place. We have to go through it. Our volume as far as calls, we are estimating anywhere between 32 and 37 calls a day. That spikes in the summer season and right around annual assessments. I can't give you like a definite number of our call transaction because again, we use Peoples, and Peoples does not have that automation to give us a record or to give us a dashboard that would show us, here's how many calls are coming in and what they pertain to. We just don't have that available, so we're tracking that within the office to give us some idea. Our projects for 2025, the rest of 2025, and some of these are gonna go into 2026. Accounts payable automation. What we're trying to do is move all of our vendor billing to online ACH payment. Right now, a lot of it's done by check. So again, that is a lot of work because you're having to cut each one of those. You have to mail them out. You have to put postage on them. That costs us money. So we are trying to move all those to ACH or online. Right now, I'm about 20% complete. All utilities have been moved to ACH, but we have like 100 vendors, so there's still so many that we have to get through, and some of these don't have that option, so it's not gonna be something I can do for everybody, but there's still several that I can work on, and that will help us lower our cost with mailing and postage and time. Our credit card automation, again, Rhonda Keegan has been instrumental in helping try to find solutions for credit card automation. Right now, we have an old credit card system that literally the girls have to press in each number of a credit card on the machine. It is not something that we can just run in the system. That takes time. So you can imagine with 2,000 transactions, if you're entering half of those in a credit card, one number at a time, it takes time. The benefit, if we can get this automated and we can get this online for our customers, for water, sewer, for annual assessments, it would be faster, it would be a more secure environment because we're not handling those credit card numbers internally manually. Our digital transition, what we're trying to establish here is right now, again, we've done everything paper. So we have files and files of paper. We're going through the process of uploading those documents so that we no longer have to hold that paper. It would make it easier to find the information instead of flipping through a file. You can easily find that online. We are about 20% reduction in paper since July, and that's because we moved our vendor billing to online, and we've moved some other processes within the office that have brought down our paper waste. So again, the benefit of that, less paper waste, better record keeping, and definitely more efficient. Data project, what we're doing here, and this is where we're gonna ask for community help on this. We are going through and we are contacting members to make sure that we have all your information updated. So your contact information, emails, numbers, your address for billing. We need to get that into our system. Again, they used to do it just by paper. We did everything by mail. We'd like to move everything online so that we can contact you more efficiently, quicker, get messages out to you if something's happening in the community. And again, processing your billing payments and all that, that would make it easier if we have an email. So we're gonna be asking the community to reach out to the POA office and make sure that your information is updated in our system. Give us an email, your number that you'd like to be contacted at, and make sure we have the right billing address. So that's essential for us as moving forward to put our billing online. Then I'm gonna move to the guardhouse. So that's something we got implemented kind of late this year. They've been doing a great job, Bobby, thank you. We've had a lot of residents that reached out and said thank you, that it's been a hit, it's been successful. Right now, we are Sunday through Thursday, 8 to 10, and then Friday and Saturday, we are 8 to 11, and we are fully staffed. This role, I think, became really important when we recently had Dance Festopia that was close to our community. We had a lot of unauthorized access that was trying to happen, and a lot of it got stopped thanks to our guards. But we had people coming in trying to use our laundry, our pools, our bathhouses, and we don't want that. We are a gated community for a reason. So this is where I was really surprised myself, is how much we missed having that guard full-time. So it's been success. They also monitor the trash compactors. As we all know, those get so full during the weekends especially. Now that we're fully staffed, they're going over and they are running those as soon as they see it, because they can see it on their monitors. I know, it's been awesome. They're also making sure that what is being dumped there is approved. So again, yes, Bobby's enforcing rules and some people don't like it, but the fact is, it's something that's kind of not been watched, and people are dumping things that are not approved, and we're not gonna allow it. So that has been helpful. They are also locking up the laundry facilities at night. Where that's beneficial is it's cutting costs for us. Before, we had to call out to one of our janitorial service people, employees, to go up and lock that at 8 o'clock at night. That's one more cost that we won't have, because now we have a guard doing that. They are also watching the front of our entry there, you know, what's coming in, is there any activity that shouldn't be happening? So again, it's been successful. They are also selling ice and maps. They hand out recreational equipment, and they help with the guests, and camping guests, with directions and information about our community. So again, been very helpful. Future goals for that role in the guardhouse is to, hopefully they will start handling the emergency calls after hours. So after our office closes, we'd have one number that people, the community, could call into, and then they could direct those calls. Now, of course, after the guardhouse closes, we wouldn't have that, but that is something we're still exploring, Pam and I, and Julie, going through what can we do about our after-hours calls. Then the other hopefully expanded role they're gonna take on is some simple tasks and some cross-training within our office. Because I do not have that many office employees, we have to take time off. Well, the business doesn't stop and people keep coming in, so hopefully with cross-training, we can pull a guard into the office to help us with that as well. So our whole goal is really to, how can we service the community better? And how can we find ways that are going to cut costs and make us more efficient and bring us into a modern time where we can do things a little more online instead of paper filing. So just to give you kind of an idea of when I hear, you know, you wonder what they're doing in the office, a lot, a lot. So, and I'm quite proud of what we've done so far, and every day I am more impressed with what the girls actually handle. The knowledge within that office is amazing. There's still so much I don't know, and that's because these girls have been here for so long. So I'm really impressed with what they handle. Obviously Pam's been here a long time too, and she has a lot of information that she's been helping me with and sharing with me. But again, what we have in the office, just understand that they are busy. You may not see it, but there is a ton of work, and there's a ton of work still coming. So we will continue to do everything we can to help the community.
I just wanna commend you on the job that, and the girls, and, the finance committee. It's a load. A lot of people don't wanna say it, but I'll just tell you, it's greatly appreciated.
I second that.
I feel confident in, as a resident, with the way things have been in the past, I feel confident that we're doing the right thing, you're doing the right thing. It's a lot, and it bears a lot of scrutiny, just or unjust, but, yeah, thanks.
Brenda, you were thrown into a fire and you handled it with grace and professionalism, and I applaud you.
Thank you. Thank you. Not without a lot of help. Again, Rhonda, thank you.
Well, yeah, and if I can add, yes, Rhonda,
Amazing.
I told her I was gonna bring her a payroll packet today, and
I
she
thought you wanted me to do a project for us.
no, I wanna put her on payroll so she can be compensated, 'cause, oh my gosh, I can't imagine how many hours she has been spending on this. And, yeah, it's just,
Yep.
Well,
That's why I said the finance committee, I'm well aware.
Yes.
well, I
the,
wanted to just share just an example, because Brenda and I.
Can we start using the microphone so that,
I got it,
I just wanted to share an example because Brenda was talking about some things that she and I worked together on as far as automation. And one of the things that I think I'm really excited about is we had a process where those who are paying monthly on credit card, we have a special service called Authorization Net, if you're one of those people. And we were manually having to enter over 300 entries every month that was taking, I'm gonna say days, like two and a half days of one person's time. We've gotten it down to about 2 hours or maybe less with that automation. So I think that is exciting
Yes.
because that lets us get to other projects like getting the deeds caught up and things that really require thought process and real understanding and knowledge versus just somebody having to repeating over and over again. So I'm excited about that, and they've been able to take that and use it in other ways, so.
And again, thank you, because without you, that would not have happened. So
But
I
the
appreciate that.
receptiveness of Brenda and her staff in regard to automation has been critical, and it has been a great partnership. So I'm doing it because I'm excited to see where this can go, and she's gonna take the ball and run with it. But it's great to see that happening in our community. So yeah.
thank you. Mary?
Yes, so the treasurer's report. Well, as you guys are listening, Rhonda and the finance committee are huge benefactors to our finances. We had a call, I kind of listened in the background to Rhonda and Dale.
Ellis.
Yeah,
Member
Dale,
of our finance
yes,
committee.
yes. They met with the CPA to go through the balance sheet. And I know everybody's been questioning, where's the balance sheet, where's the balance sheet? Well, the balance sheet wasn't in the finances because there was a lot of information that needed carried over from the prior system that we wanted to make sure was right before we put it in. You know, garbage in, garbage out. So we needed to make sure that we understood what was there, that it was going in correctly. So Rhonda and the finance committee worked diligently to make some corrections. So the balance sheet is in the packet this month. You guys will be able to see that. I think there might still be some things that she's working on, but since she was part of that, I'm gonna let her give more of the spiel on what that involves, because I was working, so I was just kind of listening and throwing a question out there every now and then. As far as the finances for this month, With the balance sheet, you can see the cash flow that's in there, the accounts receivable that's in there. And then in our meeting this morning, we talked through all of the things that are coming up, money that needs to be spent, making sure that we can cover those expenses with the income that's either there or what is due, before we commit to things. So we're still continuing to work through that. And last month I sent out, or had Pam post, kind of a forecast actual versus budget. And I'm working on updating that, and we'll get that posted again, and that will be January through August actuals with September through December forecast based on what the superintendents and Pam filled out in those reports. So it's 30-some pages. We don't want to print all that and put it in the packets again, but we will get that to Pam and it will be posted. So if you guys have access to the online meetings and stuff, you'll be able to see that and read through it. Again, if you have any questions on anything, where money is spent, where it needs to be spent, how it's being recorded, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are here to answer your questions and to work for you. And that's pretty much all I have on my part.
Standing committee reports. Dennis.
Morning, everybody. Dennis Coffin, Chairman, Architectural Control Committee. We review building permits submitted to the city to make sure they fall within POA guidelines. So we met last week. We had 8 new permits to review, which brings us a total of 188 for the year. We had 2 skid sheds, the POA dock, room addition, 1 electrical, roof replacement, 1 carport accessory building, and a lot clearing. We did issue 1 stop work permit for not being current on POA assessments. So, that's it.
Golf?
That would be me today. We've had a few tournaments. The Fade Lounge second tournament was a few weeks ago. We had 28 two-man teams. It was pretty successful. We had large raves about the condition of the golf course. Not a lot of negativity as far as, people that had never played it before, so they were pretty excited about that. We have Big Cup tournament number 2 next weekend. The Adrian Optimist tournament is tomorrow. Then we have the superintendent and Halloween tournaments coming up. Standing leagues, we have a men's fall league that was requested this year. We did not do one last year, but we requested, so we started that on the 2nd of September. So far, the numbers have been lower than they are for the spring summer league, but that's okay. I think the seniors are still going pretty strong as far as on their league. I don't know if the ladies still has a league or not, or if it's still going. And the couples league every Sunday night has been a pretty good success. Got my wife to play golf, and she never plays golf or never has played golf. So, other than that, that's all we got.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Lindsay, Recreation.
I'm Lindsay Hammonds. I'm with the rec department. To start off, I want to thank Lister, his wife Kimberly, Brenda, and Greg, and my husband Sharian, and all my kids for cleaning out the rec barn. We took a 16-foot dump trailer of stuff to the trash. It was incredible. So we do have another barn that we will eventually clear out. It is at the maintenance building, but it is where they're digging right now. So unfortunately, the rats have got to that barn, so everything is just going to go to the dump. But 16, I was shocked. So thank you for decorating the 3-way. We are going to decorate the front today at 2 p.m. for fall. I just picked up the pumpkins yesterday. We've got hay bales, corn stacks, all that. And then coming up, we've got the Fall Festival. That will be October 25th. Just keep an eye on Facebook. I am looking for lots of volunteers for that. And I'm also looking for someone to host the New Year's Eve party. So if you know anyone, let me know. Thank you.
Good job, Lindsay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Finance, Rhonda.
Good morning, everybody. Rhonda Keegan, I am the chair of the finance. I will tell you that I'm gonna be looking for somebody to chair next year. So if you have a passion for finance, I'm sure there's lots of people that do, right? Because it's always exciting. Raise your hand.
Sorry, Rhonda.
Raise your hand. But anyway, think about it. If it's something you've been thinking about how to give to your community. As Terry said, we did, Dale Ellis and I met with our CPA, Justin Smale, and we went through items line by line on our balance sheet. We do still have some updating that will happen because he's finishing out our taxes for our type of corporation. An extension is due with taxes by October 15th. I've been assured that that's going to happen. So once those taxes are completed, we will be updating some other things on the balance sheet that are going to be updated at that time. That's kind of where we are on the balance sheet. As mentioned, we're going to be working on budgets for 2026, and we've also been trying to make sure we have a good idea of what our remaining 2025 expenses are. I would just, again, echo that the office has been great in terms of helping us get ready for some automation. I really hope that we'll be able to share some exciting things about how we're going to be automating our 2026 assessments. Hopefully we're going to have some good things to share about that as that time comes closer. And that's really all I have at this time, unless anybody has any questions. Okay, thank you.
Lake management, Doug.
We had put out scales and rulers at 5 Acre Lake for the last kids fishing tournament. We started to use those at the open fishing event. We found the scale isn't, it is too large a scale. It goes up to like 100 pounds. We don't have 100-pound fish in here like that, so we're gonna get a more sensitive scale to that. Some of the fishing club kids had digital scales, and that's great. We don't want to be replacing batteries out there on the dock, so we'll stay with a spring scale, but try to get it more granular. Open fishing was a great success. We had 52 people, caught 154 fish, 78 bass, 70 crappie. That's about a fish every 5 minutes like that. So kids and everything else were enjoying it. We had some highlights out of that. One little Bower boy caught a fish that was 1/10 his weight. We had people that fished from the shore and converted to a kayak the next day and came back out and fished again. And so it was a great thing. We did some, because we took weight measurements with it, and we'll put these on Facebook, but this was the expected weight of bass versus what we caught. So the bass in that irrigation lake that isn't fished very often are doing great. They're a little fat, from that. But if you take a look at the black crappie with it, our weights are incredibly underweighted like that. And so that little growth rate information that you get out of a lake with a massive event like that with a lot of data points, tells us a lot about our habitat. And so we're going to be posting those results out there. Essentially, the crappie have eaten all the little bluegill. We only caught 4 bluegill out of the 150 fish in there. So they've just cleaned that out, and based on what they eat, the food for the bass are doing great, but the black crappie are, even though there were a lot of them, they were all hungry like that. And so getting some of them out of there is going to let the natural food in that lake feed the ones that are there, and the big bass that we took out. We took out several big bass, several 6-pounders that went to the main lake. So if you're interested in good bass fishing, it's on the main lake. So great event. Really appreciate the golf course. Andrew, Katie, and Tina were just great down there, took good care of us. Water quality is not doing so great. Slide here somewhere. Mostly it's paddle boat and 10 Acre that have failed, or not failed, but have come down. Our park lakes are doing okay with that, and again, we'll put this out to the ambassadors and on Facebook as well. What we discovered in that is that the pressure in the aerator on 10 Acre had gotten so low that it just couldn't push the air out into the water. I mean, it was running, but it takes 12 pounds of pressure to get the bubbles to come out at that depth of water. And we were only running about 8 or 10 or something like that. So they had just diminished. Residents on 10 Acre had asked about it. Pam sent Dusty over there, and He took care of it, put on a new pump with it, recalibrated, things like that, yeah.
Yesterday evening, as I drove by, I only saw 3 of the 5 were actually bubbling.
You didn't see the upper 2?
No.
Okay, we'd like to get a key and go check just from balance with that. The issue with that is that even at new kit on there, it only had 14 pounds of pressure. So if you can't push beyond 12, then we're really struggling with that. So we are working on a new aeration system at Paddle Boat, the other one with really low water quality. And it is scheduled, or got the permit in place. Did it get approved? Did you see a permit from them?
No, we haven't had a meeting since it was sent in.
Okay, all right.
Architectural control. But it is there.
Okay,
yeah.
all right, great. So it's there, it'll get approved. Then we get power from Evergy, we drop a pad out there and do an install. We would like to have an paddle boat ambassadors meeting.
No, it wasn't
So
there.
maybe that's something you might talk to somebody about organizing or point me in the right direction. But we'd like to do that in September and early October.
Write it down, Dennis.
Yeah, exactly. We did put out 2 hay bales up at 10 Acre. The idea is to see if we catch sediment coming in to the lake. It's just a bare piece of ground from the farm above to the inlet to the lake, and we're trying to see if we could stop some of the sediment that's washing in from there and just see what effect that has with it. We continue to work on the watershed, wildlife, and water quality plan, which is just one document that tries to address all these issues. The spillway, the stream buffers, the design of different things are there. And so the focus of that document is what's the best design for a culvert, for a spillway, for a lake edge, and then where are the priorities list. And so our priority is just stopping bare soil erosion. And so we continue to try to work to gather riprap and place that where we need to have it. We've been reaching out to the people that are building here and have a big pile of rock and asking them to deliver it to us. We did include funding in the spillway project, the engineering piece, that wherever there is damage to our spillways, including the upper spillways, that we could address that as well. We've had complaints about what's happening from Paddle Boat into the main lake. We know that there's really loose rock in the spillway from 10 coming down, and so if we get that funding, we may be able to place some of the large 30-inch stone in those other spillways. And from a safety standpoint, the dam safety area has the concept of a dam in Colorado that was up in a park, and it was so overgrown, nobody ever went up there and looked at it. It just deteriorated over time until that upper spillway dam failed, came down and took out the next one, which took out the entire populated community. So they were monitoring the one that was right above the community, they weren't looking upstream. And so we've got good evidence of why that should apply from the state cost funds and things like that. So anyway, we're working those issues. We'll keep Facebook updated with pictures that you can actually read. And this is for you. Okay.
Yes. Quick question on that, so you guys are doing a great job, and like the spillways, and I know you've looked at the inlets. Have you guys engaged the board or talked about internally about, on the main lake in particular? Beautiful lawn going right down to the shoreline, and additional nitrogen and stuff that is, I just saw one that was brand new fabric laid all the way down to the lake and building out a yard, and, those are all gonna be fertilized, right? And so, the common area around the lake, right?
Yeah.
The ability, so I'm just curious if you guys consider it, because that's contributes to our special new.
Yeah, the more nutrients you put in there, the worse it is. The two things that we've been saying about that is if you compare the bag of, 40 pounds of fertilizer that you might put on the lawn in spring and fall to the bushels of clippings that you take off. Mike Johnson always argued that nitrogen content is about the same in those two things. And so not blowing clippings, leaves, things into the lake is a huge impact. So we did reach out to the people that are doing lawn care here. I had a good conversation with one of those that had been reported of doing that. And we went back and forth 2 or 3 times, and they finally said, oh, you mean like if I do that? Exactly. And then they were even weed eating the water willow. And I said, hey, that's great. So every piece you cut, it's sitting in water, it's gonna root, it's gonna drop down, and you created another plant for every clipping you did. So was your goal to reduce it or thicken it? Well, reduce it. Well, you're doing the wrong thing for that, so don't weed eat it. And so we've had some good conversations with that. But yeah, we'll continue to do Facebook posts about clippings more than fertilizer, but we're trying to introduce that idea of a stream buffer, a vegetated edge to the planting, and we're working on wildlife plantings. We're a little behind the game on the evergreen planting for fall. Our committee's got to catch up with that. We got distracted by the deer hunt and the open fishing, but we'll get back on the naturalized stream buffer concepts. A good question.
I have a question. The clarity of the 10-acre and the 7-acre lakes, could that be the lakes are turning?
Temperature-wise, I mean, just
Well, you know how the lakes turn,
yeah.
could that be part of
An
that?
inversion of that. It's pretty seasonal. You know, we've repeated the paddle boat numbers here, season over season.
Yeah.
The low points are the low points. 10 acres seemed to greatly improve last time we tuned and upped the pressure on the aerators. Now that that little diaphragm wore out, it came down. We've got a new diaphragm in there. We're going out to measure, and we should see that return back up. So the idea is that they would be, the concept of turning it over, when we start paddle boat, we're also buying a timer for it, because if you just turn it on and run it, you'll bring all that muck up there and kill all the fish.
Yeah.
So we're gonna ease into turning that over, but it's our impression that it is not, I mean, we have a silting problem from what's washing in, and that's filling up our lakes. The quality of the water seems to be that combination of just over nutrients plus all the muck that's in the bottom. And so if we can decrease that muck, the lake has more capacity to absorb the nutrients coming in. And
So the mention of muck, we used to put muck pellets in several years ago.
Yeah.
And that, at the time, seemed to help some. Have you
Yeah,
thought about that?
it's that same thing. I mean, you put the pellet down, it'll clean a little area,
Right.
but the aeration is supposed to be doing large circles. So you just have to get oxygen down there. Those pellets do a chemical reaction to break down like that, and that's what you need to have happening. So the recommendation we're having is the bottom aeration with the big circles. You get 20 feet down, and it's going to make a 20-foot circle out there. We don't have enough air pressure in 10 acre to do that, so that's where we're headed.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
I do a lot of catfishing, and I love the fishing. 10 Acre Lake is the best lake for catfish.
Okay.
I've taken more than 35 pounds.
Dan
Along
said,
Heather.
That's supposed to be a secret.
You put it in the tank and clean it up?
Pardon?
Do you put it in the tank and clean it up?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, good. The meat gets a little better after you do that.
Yeah.
And all through. That's great. What we also learned walking around, we talked to the lady that lives up at the end, right by the farm up there, and she goes out and feeds the catfish.
Yeah.
And she says she's got about 6 to 8 small little walleye, which has been a great little deal, because we stocked walleye 5 years ago. That little walleye has bred, has spawned here. We didn't think they would do that. We thought we'd have to replace them. So we've got walleye in 10 acre. There was one walleye caught in the main lake, and so we're gonna continue to work that to try to improve. So the committee's working off the state recommendations to pick one of 5 strategies, one of which is to do a catfish pond. We will probably turn Park Lake 4 into a catfish pond as well, primarily. That's the smallest one down off of Elms. Down over the hill, yeah.
on the west side?
Yeah, right.
It's already got some big catfish in that one.
Good. So the state recommends that anything under a half acre and
Bobby,
lucky.
you're not supposed to tell that.
We
I'm
love
not
people
telling
to
what
fish.
bait I use.
We love people to fish. But yes, the nice thing about catfish is they don't compete with the bass, bluegill, crappie issue like that, so they can coexist. Our intent would be to have good catfish fishing in the main lake, in 10 acre, and paddle boat, our larger lakes with that. We'll leave 5 acre as all purpose for kids to go out and catch a lot of fish with it. You won't have trophy bass there, and they don't get low enough to catch a catfish. You probably can observe that from watching. But yeah, that's the plan, is to dedicate the right management techniques for each of the lakes. Great question. Thank you.
Greg Grillis. estate.
All right, Greg Ader, hi, share of real estate from, yeah, lots of energy there, from fishing tails to real estate. It's going the wrong way, but I do have some good news in the real estate world. We're participants in the tax sale most recently, the county tax sale, and we were able to have $21,000 of proceeds from that towards lots that were in arrears. And the tax due comes out first, and then if there are excess funds, we're able to collect that. And so that's the first time that I think we've done that, and I think we're developing a process to make that more efficient and hopefully avoid actually lots of getting to the tax sale. And again, what gets collected at the tax sale are assessments, interest, collection costs, attorney's fees. And so our hope is that we can help people stay out of that process and all of those extra fees. And our goal, we have, it looks like around, that was, I think, 27 lots in the most recent sale. And we purchased one of those. Our goal is to try to kind of support the price and really stop the days of $100 lot and with a bunch of our assessments that are in arrears, and so basically support the price so that we get our interest protected. The county gets their take first, but we're actually kind of helping be responsible with the funds. There are over 300 lots that are coming down the pike that are behind now, and so we're trying to help deal with that and understand how we can develop a process to improve the arrears assessments. And then finally, the idea of assemblage, meaning if you own property in our community, how can we help you acquire a lot that might be next to yours that is up for sale or needs to be or will be sold, and so we're looking for feedback on that. That whole concept is called assemblage, and the idea is to help current owners acquire properties that they're interested in. And so again, we're looking for feedback on that. So, any questions? Thank you.
We're gonna move on to repairs and deferred maintenance. I am not gonna go through and read all of this. I'm just going to hit a few high points. If you have any questions, email us, talk to me after, or talk to any of us after the meeting, and we'll try to answer those questions for you. First off, Wayne wanted to talk to you
Yeah.
guys.
Guys, and ladies, I'm proud of this community. And everything that we've been doing and striving for, it makes me proud being a citizen here. Because the volunteers, not only Boat Dock, but everybody that has donated, brought food up. And we all know my big thing is the mailbox, which an update on that is the construction part of it should be completed by tomorrow, or Monday, I mean. And then we have the metal guy coming on Tuesday. So hopefully we can close that chapter on that, and then next is just paint and.
Can you expand on the metal guy, who he is, where he's
Okay.
from, what he's charging us?
Tyler and Taylor own TNT Roofing, a metal roofing company out of Centerville. I've known them. I contacted Tyler, and he's no other way to put it. He's doing a solid for me and the community, and he's donating his time, and he doesn't even live here.
Wow.
So he's coming in, and he might be bringing a couple other guys just to donate their time to help us out and basically give us a very nice product when it's all said and done. And just great guys, and you guys stop by, see them, whatever, but on the day that they do the metal, we're not gonna put out a public notice for volunteers, but we're just basically gonna stay out of their way, let them do their thing, so that they can be uninterrupted, but Monday, anybody wants to come volunteer, come on up. But I will say this, the way the community has come together, and I mean, not just up there, but the town hall meetings, Kevin, and I'm talking Dennis, Julie, Terry, everybody, Dan, from the process of the boat ramp to Kevin, and you guys donate your time to paint the sand volleyball poles. It's just great. I mean, it goes on. And office, Shelley, I mean, the pulled pork sandwiches were phenomenal. And the list goes on and on. But,
Don't mention what I brought to the
I
event.
know. Well, the beverages have been nice. And it is cool. It's really nice that, I mean, just without mumbling, to say that everybody has come together in this community. And for I'll put it really nicely, that I just happened to watch something the other night that really irritated the crap out of me. And it was another meeting that wasn't within here that had the nerve to point out our board members. And without saying anything, which I was told not to, they should be ashamed of themselves for putting people on blast. Because, you know what? Don't talk about it, be about it. We're coming together as a community. We're doing stuff for this community, and let's continue to do stuff for this community. And if the outside naysayers, which they are, that actually live in this community, I will say this. Prove us wrong on what we're doing. That's all I will say. But I'm very proud of my volunteers, our community, and thank you more than you guys will ever know. And I say let's just keep it going and make Lynn Valley great again.
Thank you, Lynn.
A few things that I did want to point out on this list is the pro shop had the boards flipped on the deck up there, new steps built, deck was secured, there was loose trim around a window that was repaired and some bowed siding was repaired. The tennis courts, they have started filling the cracks on those and repaint the lines. Actually, the tennis court's gonna look really nice. The phones that were on here, they're going off of this list. We're done, we're not making any changes. We've decided that we're gonna work with Peoples to see if there's a little bit more that they can do for us. But we're just gonna leave those as is for this year. The new signage for Lake and Wildlife were received, they're working on installation of those. Next on the agenda is upcoming payments. We have the road project 2026 payment of $48,244 coming due on October 15th. Our insurance renewal down payment is $26,125. Our insurance monthly payments starting October 1st through August 1st of 2026 is $15,635 a month. Reason for this is because the insurance company that we had did not want to insure us anymore, so they had to go out and find somebody else that would insure us. And I'm gonna let Dennis take it over from
Well,
here.
I mean, there's multiple reasons insurance is higher. For one, insurance costs in general are just, have gone up in recent years. So start there. There's several other contributing factors, ongoing litigation, our lack of a safety program, which the board is dealing with getting a safety program in place, which will help with future insurance costs. Deferred maintenance on buildings also contributed. Excess claims contributed, all of which, the things that we can work on, we are working to solve that. Kevin?
Can you expand on the safety program?
Right, just structured safety meetings for the maintenance department, for the golf course, to where they have, regularly scheduled meetings where they discuss past safety concerns and future and those things. If you're able to have those in place, you know, it helps the insurance company to understand that you're aware of, you know, making it safer so that you have less future claims.
And I'll be getting with our agent also on help getting information and
Right,
support
the
with
insurance
that. Right.
company has said they will help
Yes.
to structure that program.
Right.
So,
We have Navigate Tax coming up, which is our tax preparation for our 2024 tax return. That's 10,000. The 23 audit will be 15,000. Year-end bonuses, we've got 48,000, and real estate property taxes estimated at 15,000. The city meeting, we discussed the water project. We're still waiting for additional information from the city, what it's gonna cost, when the fill station's gonna open, how we're gonna pay for the fill station, what we're gonna be charged as members. So we're still waiting for that. My understanding were plans were to start filling the tower September 15th. I don't know if that occurred or if that's coming up here shortly. It did not occur, Pam said, so.
Oh, they're still putting line in.
Oh, that's true.
They're not
Yeah,
connected
that's
yet.
not, so that'll be the end of the month. Dan, do you wanna address what your question was in our city meeting with, Richard and, Mike Hemphill, and what response was given at the city council meeting?
Well, it's, not really, but I will. I had a question about a property, in Lynn Valley that was being used as a place to park their business vehicles. And it was in a neighborhood, and I just wondered if there was any kind of control that would, you know, allow that to happen or stop that from happening, where you would, say, for instance, buy a house and then someone could buy a lot next to you and just use it for their business. It could be a garbage collection business as far as the city's concerned, and I didn't know if that was right. I don't have a copy of all of the bylaws. You know, I don't know. All I know is what doesn't look right. It seems like there should be some sort of, I don't know, control perhaps. Ordinance, codes. This wasn't a garbage collection company that, to follow his line of logic, it could have been, and it would still been cool with.
Yeah.
I don't think that's right.
Yeah,
I just thought it wasn't right.
we have,
That was just a question I had for them, and they kinda ran me through coals about not knowing what goes on around here and how things work and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, whatever.
we've met with the city in good faith. We'd like to continue to do so. Basically, it's 2 of the city council meetings and Dan and myself, and city council members. And, you know, the question basically was asked is, can you store the business equipment on a built property or on a property that is next door to you or wherever in the community? The information did not get correctly processed and sent to Lou. He did say, yes, you can do that in the meeting. That is incorrect. I just wanted to make sure everybody knows that, you know, we don't have build properties to run big businesses and store a bunch of trucks and equipment. Dennis?
Just a note that, I'm not sure, we have 2 new inspectors with the city now. They haven't been on the job very long, so I can't attest to their process yet. But from the 11 years that I've been here, if you see something, they're not gonna go out and actually look for it. The city won't, hasn't in the past, let me just put that, they haven't in the past. It has to be reported by a citizen to the city codes department as a violation, to have them come out and take a look at it, and then they would write or warnings and do their process, but
Right.
until they're contacted, I don't see them doing anything.
Right. But like I said, the question was, can you, operate a business on a build property and,
Right.
store a bunch of large equipment and,
You
or
don't think it's
equipment?
right, message
Yeah.
the city at the city codes department and have them come check it out.
Right.
Is the mayor making that statement based on law, fact, ordinance?
I would say that he's
Sorry, Ms. Matt.
made, I don't know, he was given, I think, some incorrect information to start with, as, in regards to our meeting. So I would have to believe he didn't understand the question, maybe, that was presented at the city meeting. My thoughts behind the city meeting is that we voice our concerns to each other, chit chat about the community, how can we work together? And it seems like my impression has been, and you're all welcome to watch the city council meeting, it seems like whatever we question or ask, we're kind of stomped on. So as a board, we are going to decide at this point whether we are going to continue those meetings for the rest of the year, which I think we can, or if we're gonna discontinue them until we have a new mayor.
Hopefully that'll be resurrected in November.
Correct.
Curtis Coffin?
On the building inspector or codes enforcement, those, Lance and Matt are new
Right.
and they need to be given a chance.
Well, and
Yeah,
it was,
I don't know.
they really didn't have anything to do with the question that happened between the city council members and the POA board members and that particular question.
Oh, I watched the meeting.
And, I just think the information got given to Lou incorrectly. It was not the questions that were asked.
I got the impression they didn't wanna be bothered with any of our,
Yeah,
you
we
know,
started the-
insignificant questions, because they were the city and they knew everything, what was best for everybody, and just leave us alone and we'll do it.
Yeah, we started the meetings, earlier in the year because the ordinance for the city are one thing, the covenants and bylaws and restrictions that we all have are something different. So we were trying to find out what supersedes what needs to be corrected so everybody can be informed correctly. It was just a sit down and communicate and talk things through. They could ask us questions, we could ask them questions. Then all of a sudden it becomes something bigger than that, and it's like people are trying to throw us under the bus for asking questions when it was all being done in good faith to try to bring the city and the community together, and it's just sad that it's turned into something like this, being presented this way. Don't send somebody to a simple little meeting that has done nothing but post bad things about the board members, that has cussed the board members continuously. That is just unfair to us, to come up here as volunteers and to be treated that way.
Well, I want to follow up with what I was saying, and I'll make this quick. Like I said, I watched the same meeting, Pam. That's what I was referring to. And I've been to a couple of the city meetings over there, and I know I've seen faces over there too. And at least here at the POA meetings, even though we have an agenda, you guys are still more than welcome to ask questions. Unlike the city meetings where we're not taking no questions, it's this way, that's it, it's cut and dry. You're not listening to the public, and that's what this is about. You gotta be able to listen to the people that are paying your salaries, or like Terry just said, we're volunteering. If we can figure something out to make this work as a whole, that's what this is about, not downgrading. And that's, I don't know, that's what I'm getting at. It's like, I don't know, that's all I got.
Bottom line is, we can fix it in November. You don't like it, then
Yes.
Right.
Yes, sir.
We'll fix it.
Most of you know I'm Curtis Kaufman. I am running for city council. One of my goals, I've been asked, what are like my top 3 goals? I've been told I'm naive, but I've talked to Dennis, I've talked to a few of you. One of my, if I am elected to the city council, I would love to see the POA as well as the city work better together and be more open together. And instead of being separate and pushing against each other, I think it's ridiculous. And some people have said I'm naive to think that maybe that could happen, but I don't think so. So
I mean,
that's one of my goals if I am elected.
And I think, at the very beginning, we took the codes, we took our ordinances, and we looked through them, and as Richard had said in the meeting, he said that they were all pretty similar. So I'm not sure why we're having such, it's just like it's, and
It's government versus private.
yeah, it's government versus private.
Yep.
We're all,
Yeah.
we're all
I mean,
residents.
We're
here.
all residents here, though.
I think the board is doing amazing, and so I just hope we just keep moving forward and in a positive way.
I don't want to turn this to a campaign thing, but
I'm sorry.
hoping to be your next mayor. And I can
Lister Pog.
Yes. Oh, Lister, please come up and introduce yourself.
Any of the microphones, take your
Yeah,
pick.
take a pick.
We'll all
So yeah, I just, like I say, I didn't want to turn this into a campaign thing, but I am hoping to be the next mayor, and I do pledge to work with the POA as much as we possibly can, because we shouldn't be fighting each other. It's one community, it's one group of people. We need to work together and make this place what it can be.
Thank
Like, like my band says, Lynn Valley deserves better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, with that,
Not to kick that, but I was gonna mention, Dennis mentioned about the codes guys, waiting for a complaint, which, what has to happen is when you see something, if it's annoying to you and you think it's a violation, you do need to report it, because they don't have time to drive every street and alley and whatever. I mean, they're more reactive, which is pretty much the way codes people everywhere I've dealt with, they react to input from the community. So if you do see something, turn it in, and then if it doesn't get dealt with, then you have an issue. But if, more often than not, I would say that they are going to, see if it's a violation, they're gonna deal with it.
Shelley.
And I think one of those things will be the RVs on building lots after September 31st.
Right.
Those,
Right.
or 30th.
September 30th
or
is the last
multiple-
day to
Or
have.
multiple
You're
RVs,
supposed to be allowed one.
right,
Yeah.
And
But
can't have one
especially-
with the residents on it.
especially moving off RVs that are on building lots after September 30th.
Yep.
They won't notice those, I'm sure.
One thing, and I agree with, Kevin, the thing is that we've got 2 governing bodies, right, in a very small community. We are one community, we're 2 sets of people.
Right.
Residents and members, right? The city actually serves a fewer number of people, right, in the end. They
Correct.
want,
64 voters.
and, again, and the thing is that Lynn Valley Lakes has been here for effectively 50 years now. And the city was initiated to try and help with some of the shortfalls, particularly after the bankruptcy and some of the things that happened. Both governing bodies, and again, I've seen nice moves this year with this board. And again, to kind of resound on what Wayne said earlier, we've had a unification on a lot of levels, right? There's still opportunity to build on that, but I think it's imperative, and with what Lister's saying, it's like both governing bodies have got really a singular goal, and that is serving the people that they are representing, right? The board is representing a larger group, right? And those in here that, and again, because there's a lot of, my 30 years in this community, 27 of them were part-time. Couldn't cast a vote. I'm captive to everything that the city does, right? There's a lot, again, there's a lot of elements of that, again, we're we're going through growing pains, we're going through struggles, you know, and in the end, I mean, those of us that have been here a long time and those of us that have recently come in, there's expectations, but I just encourage the people, as, he was saying a minute ago, it's like, you know, if you're represented by both, right, you need to vote, right, and we need to put the people in. And we've got a board right now that, you know, again, it's, you know, when everybody voted in February, they didn't have any idea this was the board that we were gonna have, but the reality of it is, we got a board that's really, you know, making some nice moves. And, I honestly believe that this is another thing that we all know. Relationships take two sides, right? And the bottom line is that anybody's had any relationship, you know, negative experiences that, you know, again, both sides have accountability, but, you know, again, both sides have to be participants.
Right.
In resolution. So anyhow, I really hope that the people that have the ability to vote in either or both
Yes.
are exercising that right to the fullest ability and being educated, because we're gonna go through a lot of change in the next few years. We have in the last 5 to 6. And let me tell you, I mean, in the next 5 to 6, I mean, we don't wanna wake up and go, what happened, right? So anyhow, get out and vote.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the farmland lease, which we're gonna go ahead and table because I don't think any of us had a chance to work on it this past month due to just being busy doing everything. But we will contact the gentleman, and you didn't contact him, did you, Dennis?
No.
Yeah, we will contact him and see if we can move forward with, see if he wants to go ahead and sign a new lease on the farmland. The tax sale update, that was pretty much clarified by Greg. We did purchase one property for $1,100. So that'll go into our for sale items. Okay, the big issue that we've got to discuss today are pool repairs. We have contacted a couple of different companies on repairing the pool rather than replacing it. We all know that you know, putting a new pool in is going to cost millions. Personally, myself, before we commit that kind of money, I'd like to see us have 50% of it in savings or something before we take that kind of a leap. But we've talked to a couple different companies that have come in and said, we can fix this pool up for you, we can make it look like new, we can extend its life anywhere from, you know, 8 to 12 to 15 years. So we've gone the route of looking at what it would cost us to repair it. We've received actually 3 bids, but 2 in respect to the actual pool itself. The first one was Titan Pools. We received bids to remodel the tile, paint the pool with epoxy paint, and add a zero entry demo and replace the pool coping. That came to $307,000. Now, if we took that zero entry out, we would be looking at about $100,000. They would just epoxy paint it. I was not super impressed that they were looking at it in our best interest, but just rather as getting a patch put on it. Then we had SCP Construction come in, and they work with the next company, Midwest Plastering. And SCP Construction, they would do the concrete work around the pool coping demo, and the replacement. That came in at $27,650, which, as you can see, that was quite a bit less than Titan wanted to replace our pool coping. And then Midwest Plastering came in, and we received a bid to hydroblast, repair the cracks, plaster and retile the pool, replace the caulking around the pool deck, smooth out the coping. So that was an option we had. Either we can have Midwest Plastering smooth out the coping, or we can go ahead and demo and replace it. replace the skimmers. They would go into the baby pool, they would fix the imperfections, they would retile, they'd place a cool coat paint 4 feet around the baby pool. In addition to that, their estimate included a sun shelf on the shallow end with bubblers in it. And their price for that was $15,000, and that was just an estimate, so we'd have to get a little bit better number than just an estimate on something like that. But it came, the whole repair came to $140,000. Kim, would you like to add anything in? Kim Hirsch helped me a lot with contacting these companies and finding us the best companies. Kim's worked in the pool business, cleaning pools, and
I've worked for builders, all kind of builders, then I went out on my own and my pools are my pools, from the shell clear to the chlorine.
okay. And she's come in and she's also helped the girls here at the pool getting chemicals adjusted correctly, and she has some ideas on how we can maybe fix a little bit of the pump area and deal with things that would be more beneficial to a pool. But what is your take on the difference between the epoxy and the plaster?
Epoxy has to be done every 2 years. Paint has to be redone. The divots that people complain about, that algae grows in, the divots are not taken away. And what Midwest Plastering does is come in and hydroblast out the old plaster, which that's where the divots and the cracks are. They do a bond on it for the new plaster, smooth it all out and put in new plaster, and we want new tile and
Right.
everything else.
And that's all included in that bid.
Yes. Hand feeding chlorine to a pool is ridiculous.
Right. But you had said our maintenance people could fix that?
You could put in a tablet feeder for
Tablet feeder.
a couple $100.
Right.
I thought they
Okay.
already had that.
Yeah, no. Doug?
So I have a question. It says smooth out the coping versus replacing the coping?
Correct.
Okay, but the tile would be replaced either way?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
The interior of the pool would be all brand, well,
All right. Kim, do you have an opinion about the coping? Is smoothing it out going to look good at the end, or are we gonna have a wonderful
I've never
plaster?
seen this guy do anything that doesn't look good, and I've probably worked on 80 of his pools.
Okay, so you think that would be okay to smooth the coping
William
instead
says
of
it can
replacing?
be done, and it can be done.
All right.
I've heard people on Facebook complain about their kids hurting their feet
On
and
their
this and that.
feet, yeah.
And that all comes out.
right.
That's the hydroblast part. That all comes out, it's smooth. New plaster has to have water in it, so the pool has to keep water in it all winter. I mean,
Is this something?
we have a good shell. I don't know why we don't.
Is this something that you would move forward with and try to have done by?
Okay, so if we would make our deposit right now, between now and March, they would come out, do the hydroblasting, he didn't say the tile, but yeah, whatever they needed to do, they'd come out and do that with the deposit. And then in March, they would come out, depending upon the weather, mid-March, they would come out and they would go ahead and plaster the pool. It needs a 30-day cure time after they plaster it.
Filled.
So, filled.
It's filled.
Yeah, 30-day filled cure time before it can be used. So that's kind of the time frame, is it would be hopefully done before the start of the next pool season. But we've gotta get our name in there and make some kind of a commitment to them, or we could be bumped out until June, July, or August, who knows?
Kim, how long is this, how much time does this buy us?
I'm sorry?
How much time does this, how much life
With a
does
good
this buy?
shell, I mean, like she said, 10, 12 years. We have a solid shell. That's the heart of your pool. That's concrete that holds it together.
I think we've talked about this. My only concern is, Jennifer, or Doug has talked about this too, is whatever was going on underneath the pool, is that rectified?
They have addressed that. Kim, what was they did not feel that that was an issue. There was
There's
water.
a math equation that takes for the water flow under the ground down to the lake. builder did the math equation, and we're fine for the water going around the pool, he said. We could put a daylight pipe in it, and what that does is, I put it in my black tank, Danny installed it. It's a pipe that goes down to the bottom of the pool beside it, and if the water pressure comes up, I've seen water fly out of those pipes 6 foot tall. But it's groundwater and it gives it a place to go,
So we'll have to worry about water being trapped
and pushing the pool out of the ground.
I'm
Okay.
surprised you did.
And I mean, that's definitely something that we can check into. I kind of felt like they said they didn't think it was
That's
necessary.
what Colin said.
Yeah.
SCP, the builder. I don't know, you can get William's opinion, but I
Okay.
don't
And
think
wasn't,
drilling a pipe in the ground, a 6-inch pipe would be a big deal if they think we need it.
wasn't there drainage problems that we've addressed too that
Yes.
we're helping to correct that, I believe?
I
Yes.
think that's kind of what I'm talking
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I think we addressed the drainage problems that we thought caused that problem to begin with.
about. I only ask, cause we're gonna do this. We need to capture everything and not just.
Yep.
Right,
Agreed.
right. And I will check with him on that daylight pipe.
And we're
Ask
looking,
them for that, cause I think that would be something beneficial, just because of our history on it.
Right.
As a safety precaution.
Yeah, yeah. And like Kim said, it probably isn't gonna cost any exorbitant amount of money to put it
Right.
in.
with all the deferred maintenance money that we've spent out of our cash that's been coming in, by only having to put the deposit part down on this and bump the rest of it off till next year, that helps our cash flow quite a bit too, and being able to accomplish having the pool corrected.
Never pay a pool guy up front. You put down your deposit, at the end you pay.
Right, right,
They're getting money out of
That's any
people.
contractor.
right.
Absolutely, but it's working for them, so.
Yeah. So if you go with Midwest Plastering, do you still use SCP also for part of it?
It would depend if we decided to replace the pool coping or if
Or
we were just
repair.
gonna smooth it out.
Okay.
My recommendation would be to just smooth it out. I don't think there's that many spots in there where the edge is bad. A lot of that might be even fixed because they're replacing those skimmers out.
Yeah.
So,
At a time.
you know, a lot of that might be taken care of with that. I think we could always, do you think we could do, if 2 years from now, could we do the pool coping, Kim? If we wanted to, without damaging the pool?
Tear out what we have and put in new.
The coping
The
itself.
coping itself?
Our coping is, what is it, 5-6 foot?
Yeah,
Where most pool coping's 1 foot,
right,
so our coping's a lot, yeah, sure.
yeah. So I don't,
There's a lot to it, it's not just
Right.
pouring concrete, there's the cantilever that makes the coping,
Right.
you know, it's gotta be bonded with our equipment,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot to the coping.
How is this warranted?
I don't
This
believe,
is by contract and
Yeah.
warranty, he's not just a guy, he's
Yeah,
a
no,
big
no, I'm
company.
I don't know what the actual warranty on it is.
I think it's 2 years, I think that's what he's told me. on some
Has
of my
he
pools. It's-
Put all of this in writing?
I'm
Yes,
waiting to get it. Well, yeah, I'm waiting for the contract. I've got the estimate, she's supposed to be sending me the contract.
He's not just a guy, he
No,
does
and-
pretty much
yeah,
every
right.
pool.
And Kim and I've appreciated so much you helping the staff this year and,
You know how
and
great
all of
it
your
is to be hot and run and
comments.
jump in the pool now?
And also, without knowing this company was being recommended, the multifamily company I work for, we've used them to rebuild several of our pools this year alone. And, our director of facilities has known him for over 20 years in different industries that he's worked in. And so when I sent him the quote on it, if he gave you that quote, that's an honest quote.
He's an honest guy, and to be honest, I help them every chance I get, and I feel like they've done a lot for me on this. And I'm
Mhm,
really
yes.
appreciative.
Yeah, they're some great group to work with so far. But we just feel like, you know, for so many years, we've given all of our attention to other amenities, I won't say what they are, in the community. And we're kind of feeling like maybe the pool needs a little bit of attention this coming year, and hopefully, I'll say it, hopefully the golf course does not need anything major next year, and.
Knock on wood.
Pardon me?
Painting the
Knock on
pool,
wood.
Knock on-
painting the pool makes it look exactly like it looks, but a different color.
Right,
It doesn't fill the cracks, it doesn't take the old plaster out.
and
I think
basically,
it's tacky.
the numbers are just about the same. In addition to that, Midwest is gonna work on the baby pool, you know? They're gonna clean that up and make that look nice and put that cool coat down around the pool so these babies aren't, you know, stepping on hot concrete, which if you guys were out there this summer,
We really
Fun
need to look in
days.
putting a fence around that pool too. I mean, we haven't all these years, but it just, more and more, I guess cause I'm getting older, it worries me.
okay. We'll bring that up at a later date. So does anybody, or actually, I'd like to make a motion that we entertain putting down 10% on, the, repair of our clubhouse pool
With,
I second.
with
Midwest.
Midwest plastering.
Once we have the official contract, we just wanna be able to move forward with entertaining that contract and being able to move forward with it if it meets all the standards. I second that.
Or Dan already did, but.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So we will move forward then with the pool.
thank
I
you.
will say, every builder in town pretty much uses Midwest plaster, so.
Hurry up and get on the
Kind of a
list.
It's first come, first served. You get on the list.
I've been requested to sign a spillway change order for McClure. What it would do is this $3,500, and Doug, help me out here, it's gonna change the dollar amount, or it's gonna change, the plan sheet is gonna show the proposed maintenance to be done for the spillway for the large dam.
Right, so what Matt Eblum of McClure explained was that at Sugar Valley, they had a project similar to this, and he gave them this kind of a sheet, and they were able to do their own contracting and monitoring, and things like that, and so that became the project. I think if we ask them to spec it, manage it, everything else like that, I think we're looking at a $20,000 bill on there. Yeah, they're offering to provide this one-page engineering materials list that's necessary to obtain the permit, and if we get the permit, we get priority ranking in the funding. So
Okay.
he was trying to address the fact that we talked in May with the state, and this is fall now, and they haven't really finished their design, and so he's trying to catch up with that and get us to a position where we could obtain the permit. So it's a good price, and it's necessary to
Okay.
get the permit.
Right. And that is a charge of $3,500 to us. Does anybody wanna, I motion that we approve the $3,500 to McClure to, include, to, have maintenance be done to the spillway for the large dam.
You get one in there.
All in favor?
Aye.
Doug, don't know what I'd do without you. Thank you.
Sure.
Next is, the request. I'm looking at your email you sent me. Basically what it is the application for the state cost share programming, or cost share assistance program. And with this, your request or your, suggestion or recommendation was to approve the request for 50% of the full proposal, is that correct?
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. There
Yeah.
were,
4 options.
right, so we are in possession of a plan from McClure that totaled out, let's say, $750,000. If we turn that in, the maximum cost share would be $500,000, and so we would be on the hook for the $70,000 we paid for the engineering work so far, so $3,500 for this one sheet plan, and then the difference between 80% of or the 500,000 max, so if that's 750, that's another $250,000 on the spillway. I don't think that the Water Resources Department will insist that we line the primary spillway all the way to the stilling pond. I think their concern is that if we had an event, the data says that if we have the 20% storm, it's gonna go through the spillway virtually, it might cause some damage like it has in the past, and we put some more rock on it and we move on. If we get the 100% storm, which is happening, once a week somewhere in the country, the water goes up to 18 inches from the top of the dam. It doesn't overtop, it's safe, but a lot of water is rushing through the spillway. And the state was concerned that with that erosion, would we begin to erode into that little outlook area over the golf course and along the side, would we compromise the control structure in there? And so their suggestion was to put some Ambourne-like stone at that top control structure and build that up. And so that is some portion of the total stone. So the idea was that instead of asking the board to approve $750,000, of which is going to cost us a lot, that we would go to the state and say, given your available funding and our available funds, this is all we can do right now. So if we bought 20%, 50%, 70% of the stone, where would we best utilize it? And we best utilize it up at the top and maybe in some of the other spillways around, and work down the primary spillway in this cycle. If they think that's sufficient, then we're done. And if we have a big event, we might have to put some smaller fill below if it gets washed out, but it's not a safety problem. And so that's the argument, is that we go into the proposal process saying, the engineers have said this is it, what is the state mandate? And if we can get the Water Resources Department to say, yeah, you don't have to line it all the way, they'll give us a distance, 100 feet, 200 feet, something like that. And so we're talking about percentages.
Okay.
The difference between the small number, 25% and 50%, if we do 25%, we're leaving money on the table because we're already paying $70,000 on engineering costs with this. We won't get that back because engineering costs are 20% of the total project.
Right.
So if we do the $300,000 project, we get a couple $100,000 worth of stone for $30,000. And so that's why that middle position is the right number. In each of the projects, there's a 30% contingency. So if we said that we're going to do half the stone, and all we're doing is hauling stone, then that contingency says, well, you can have 30 times 50 or 15% more. So we could get, if we fund half of it, we could get maybe 65% of the project done, because we don't have any other ways to spend money out there. So that was why we came up with that number.
Okay.
The process from here is that on Monday, we give the change order to McClure, they give us the one page, we go to the Water Resources Department and have that discussion like we did in May. Many of you sat in on that. And they tell us what they think they need to see, and then we turn in the paperwork for that, and hopefully they turn it around by the 30th, and we get it all turned in. But if we're in the process, I think the grant money is high probability we'll get some.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay, so is there a vote?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd like to motion that we will complete the application for the state cost sharing assistance, and we will request 50% of the full proposal.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? As you all know, from the last meeting, at the golf course, the high school, I believe, wanted to come in and golf here, and they required.
You missed the golf at
Oh,
Coast
you guys want to talk about coast to coast?
to Coast.
I don't know that we agreed. I think this is something we're gonna table. Yeah, I think this is something we're gonna table, but we do want wanna
We had
ask
some additional questions.
some questions of Brenda. Coast to Coast is a camping agreement that we've had for many, many, many years here that allows, campers to come in and camp through the Coast to Coast website. Basically, what Brenda has found, Brenda, go ahead.
So what we're finding is when I'm looking at what we actually gain from them coming into the community, we're making like $9 per camper. We charge our own members $20 to camp a night, and they're doing it for $9. Originally, I think that was brought in, we started that contract with them so that we were trying to show the community, we were trying to outreach to get more buyers in. At this point, we're not looking at that, so when you are looking at what we're actually taking in as a payment for that night, and then what they're using as far as electricity and water, we're actually paying people to come in and camp. And it's not fair to our community, for one, and if we're going to do that, either we need to, if we're gonna extend this contract, maybe look at changing that payment, changing that charge.
Okay,
that
and
we're
have you
currently
checked
doing.
in any kind of renegotiation, or can we?
No, because I've never had contact with any of that, so it's something that Pam and I would have to work on
Okay.
together.
Can we table this, please, and Pam and you can go ahead and
Yep.
work on that and
Yep.
see if we can renegotiate the contract and see if it would be in our best interest to do so?
I would include Margene in it also, because Margene's been pretty instrumental in speaking with them
Okay.
in the
Okay.
past also.
Okay, so we will table the Coast to Coast until the next session. AED for the golf course, the high school kids wanted to come in and golf out here. They said we needed to have an AED. We did not have one at the golf course. They said they would bring their own in. Further discussion was we really need to make sure we have AEDs available to this community. My suggestion to Pam was that we work on getting an AED for the golf course this year, and that we work on getting an AED for this clubhouse next year, and put it in next year's budget.
I have some prices.
Pam, can you give us a pricing?
Sure. I checked through, Amazon, of course, where we all shop. Pretty much the same AED that we have at the office is $1,622. They are not cheap, however, you know, if you save one life, it covers that cost. I did find, this is where I order the replacement pads for the one up front. It's called AED Superstore. They have right now, it's pretty much the same price, $1,609. I did add the infant child cartridge, which, you know, we need. We do have that up front. With a $200 discount is $1,534 for that. That's the cheapest I found it.
I would motion that we get it.
I would second the motion that we spend $1,534 at AED Superstore.
Yeah.
To obtain an AED for the golf course.
Do those expire or anything?
The pads do expire, the battery expires. If the battery has a longer life typically than what the pads do, I need to be I looked at the ones up at the front office, and we're gonna have to be ordering, I believe it's the adult pads soon, so I may just throw that into the order also.
Do you use a fire safety company for fire extinguishers? Do they offer those?
We use Keller Fire, and I do not know.
Can we
I can
maybe
check with them. I'll check.
I think we're all in agreement to move forward with it, but I think maybe
I
check a
will.
little bit more.
I did check with Mindy and asked her if the fire department had an avenue where they could get them cheaper, and she said no. In fact, they ordered their replacement pads through Amazon also.
And nothing through our insurance that we would get any type of a discount for.
Yeah, I didn't know if there were any grants out there or anything that were available, not that we.
Well, if the city doesn't get anything,
Yeah.
I don't know how
I'd like to make a motion that we approve 80 for the golf course,
Well,
not to
Dennis
exceed
did.
the amount
Dennis
of
made-
16.
Dennis already did,
No,
and
not
you
to-
seconded it.
Not to exceed the 16,
Yeah.
okay, we went ahead with it since it
Okay.
came up, I thought. I
Where
waited.
would it be placed in the golf course?
In the pro shop.
How would that do any good? Someone has a heart attack out on the golf course, I mean,
The golf course, you do it.
Call into the pro shop. Hopefully they wouldn't be out there by themselves.
they're already using like
But
a
it-
mobile one.
It's just like, the one at the office. Someone would have to grab it at the office.
It's mobile.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're,
they're little.
They'd be,
they're in a
they
carry
would be
case.
confined, your victims or your people would be, the recipients would be inside the office where the AED's at.
No, the AED's a little box, you can take it
No,
anywhere.
it's
It's
mobile.
like a little carry
It's
case.
a little carry case.
Right.
But I'm saying, due
But
to
you-
the
but-
nature of the
but-
golf
but
course,
the
I
one-
mean, if it's in
but
the,
the-
if it's in the pro shop.
The one in the office somebody on the mini golf or the tennis court could
Right.
have an incident,
The front
and that's
pool.
where they would take it.
Alright.
It's
Right.
it's just getting it closer to the proximity
Right.
of where an incident could happen.
I mean, like the police and,
Marshals, they can carry it.
the police and fire department, they
Yeah.
have them in their vehicles, but it's a little hard for us to do that here. So it's just knowing where they're located. And then I will then be also getting training, through, Lindsay had given me a name of a gentleman who does that, so,
So the
Safety
pro shop staff would be
that
trained.
would be a part of the safety program, yes, but getting training in, with the AED and first aid.
He's actually our part-time, one of our part-time
And he is a
officers.
part-time officer, with the city, so.
Dennis made the motion,
Julie
Julie
seconded.
seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next, Pam, I'm gonna let you take the next one, the surplus equipment.
I included in the board's packet a, list of equipment. I can run through this real quick. Under the water and sewer department, there's a Ford F-700. It was a sewer truck chassis. It's the chassis only, there's no tank on it. It has major engine issues. The guy said, yes, they could probably get it started, but it has caught on fire before. So, we don't want that truck. Ford conventional LN 8000 chassis, it has a snow blade on it. Many years ago, the truck was no longer used as a sewer truck, so they cut the tank off in half, they put some big rocks in it, and they put a snowplow on it too, for extra snow removal. We used it for a couple years and it has sat ever since. We do also have a couple of old sewer tanks. The condition on those, they rusted out. Maintenance department, Ford F-150, a maroon pickup, 1994, does not run. We had it and the sewer truck with the snowplow on a surplus list before and they did not sell. So hopefully maybe somebody will just want them for scrap, who knows?
Reynolds Recycling, pretty good.
There's a Massey Ferguson 150 tractor. Rex had actually, got this tractor for the golf course. He decided it didn't help him out. He gave it to maintenance, and when they got it up to maintenance, they realized the PTO and the hydraulics do not work. So, it's on the list. We have two boats up there, a low boat with a 15 horsepower motor and a John boat, neither one are being used. 2615 Legend Brush Hog, it's old and rusty, the wheels are shot on it. We have a pretty brand new, brush hog sitting up there. There's no point in this one sitting up there with the grass growing around it. We have 3 fish feeders, Lake and Wildlife Committee, what would you like to do with those that we're not using?
We're okay to sell.
All 3? Okay. Golf course maintenance department, Andrew suggested that he share these on the Heart of America website. There's a Cushman turf truck that they're not using, there's a Cushman turf truckster. One of those, I believe it's the truckster that is a 3-wheel, very unsafe. You know, you get somebody out there on the course and, yeah, no. There's also a B&B 200-gallon spray tank with booms. This is off of the old spray rig. They're using the, gator that it was in, but the spray rig's sitting there. Pro Shop, the ice machine, it's not being used. Clubhouse back here in the room, there's still approximately 70 metal folding chairs that are not being used.
Okay, I make a motion that we leave it up to Pam to either sell or dispose of all surplus property, that's on this list.
Well, what I would do, if we put it out for bids, then we would present the bids or open the bids at next month's meeting.
If that's what you do with,
Mhm.
yeah, but whatever needs to be junk it,
And then the board can either accept or not accept the bids.
right.
I'll
Okay.
second that.
All in favor?
Is none of these items salvageable with proper maintenance, I have to ask?
I don't think so, Kevin.
You're welcome to go look at them.
Yeah.
I know, I'm good, thank you.
And bid.
Well, I've already had a couple of people, like on the boats, say, I will put a bid on the boats, or I'm gonna keep my husband away from the maintenance lots.
All right, let's finish her up. Anybody have anything they'd like to comment, say, questions?
Shockingly. Yeah, I'll come in here.
Thank you.
I know. For you, right? Just a couple items. I wanna commend Pam, and I say that because, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, but it just seems to me like I see the maintenance guys out much more visible here recently, and I don't really know why, but it's good to see, you know, I've seen them doing some work by the North Gate and a few other places, and, you know, so thanks, yeah. Is there any consideration being given to, cause when you were talking about the hippie thing across the highway, yeah, I've never seen so many millennial hippies in my life. Everywhere. I mean, even up in Overland Park and Walmart, we were up 159th Street and, can I get that air for you? Can I just say that? Is there any consideration given to like finding a way to come off the north end of the clubhouse and taking a fence around where they can't just park right there and walk in and get to the back?
I
You
was
know what I'm
looking
saying.
at that the other day, wondering,
So,
Well, our
Oh,
key fob
it's
system would help a lot of that if we were to invest in the fob system where you can't get in.
yeah, but they can still get to the bathroom and the,
Not if we have
No.
fobs on them, they can't
well,
get in them.
true, yeah. Just a thought, you know, whatever you think, it seems
I mean,
like
how many
we should be able to do
came in?
something. Huh?
Do we even have a clue how many might have attempted to come in?
I mean, it's not
counted
just, it's not
10.
really,
Okay, 10.
it's not even really during that time.
That
I mean,
was
when-
one night,
Yeah, when
then
swim,
I run off.
Okay.
when swim season is in full
Yes.
tilt. I mean, we ran into people from Amsterdam and I think everybody knows what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, you know.
Park up front and walk in.
Yeah.
Where they come through the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they park
They
right
park
there
up
in the
front.
parking lot
Lot
and
there,
walk
and
over
the entrance.
and walk to the bathrooms.
Use laundry, bathroom, showers.
I didn't catch any trying to use laundry, I caught them trying to
No fences.
get into the bathrooms and showers.
Yeah, just
What
a,
else?
just a thought.
Yeah.
And then you were talking about, we're talking about proceeding with the community center project. Is that ongoing, is that gonna happen before winter hits, or what are we thinking?
right now, I don't know that we have we were planning to have it done, we were planning to have it done starting here in the next month or so. I'll be really 100% totally transparent and honest with you guys. This whole pool thing came up because we were in a time crunch with the pool, because that's something that has to be scheduled, and we didn't wanna push it into the pool season or wait another year. We have taken some of that money that we were gonna use for maintenance to, to put toward the pool down payment. We'll reassess here as we go month by month to see how the funds are, what we've got coming in, going out, if there's any more large expenses to maintain equipment or, you know, water plant, and if hopefully there's not, and we've got money left over, that we can start working on it in November or December.
I think we need to get Bob a taser.
I was offered one. I was offered one.
Anybody else?
Yes.
Bob?
It's probably been asked before, what vehicles are allowed in the primitive camping area? I know the ATVs, the dirt bikes,
Unofficial.
and yes, I know this. Are cars and trucks allowed down in there?
There's roads. There are roads.
Are
Not
there?
maintained, but there's roads.
Okay. Cause I've seen trucks go into the pond back there that had to be towed out. At 2 o'clock in the morning, it gets very aggravating of them down there four-wheeling.
It's nothing to do.
And they have the extra lights on them, which lights my home up like it's this at 2 o'clock in the morning when we're trying to sleep.
Sounds like a
Get the police-
nuisance
get the police
violation
be-
that you can call the city police.
I called the police. By the time the police get
Sure.
there, they're gone.
Yeah.
I went that route. Can there, I don't know if it can be done, but can we lock that up in the evenings?
I don't know if there's a gate or, I don't know
There
where
is not
that
a gate.
area is.
There's
No,
not a gate.
there's no gate on either entrance. to
Down
it.
off Holiday.
Bob, let us check into it.
I'd be willing to lock it
And
up
see
after
what-
I get off work.
Yeah, but you also have to make sure there's nobody in there.
Right.
And open it back up in the morning.
And then open it back up. So,
That's no problem. I'm not early enough to do that.
and there's a couple other areas where they get in that area too. It's not just that driveway.
And it's a specified area for this
It's,
ATV?
no.
It just happens?
For our insurance, absolutely not.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's just known as the off-road ATV.
No.
area.
Yeah.
So it's
It's
just.
just
It
a
is the-
common area
It's just
that people
common ground.
trespass on.
It's the primitive campground.
Oh, is that what it is?
That is Camper Park C. It is the primitive campground. When I started working here, the original developer had
Used to be
teepees set up there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool, that'll run to
That's
that.
the first time I heard.
I do know one time, a friend of mine brought her Girl Scouts down there for a weekend. All the girls were up here enjoying amenities. When they went back down there, somebody had run over all their tents with a truck. That was many years ago.
So are you asking the board basically to go in and level that all out and turn it back into primitive camping?
All would have to be done would be mowed.
No, he wants it shut down.
No, I don't want it shut down. I don't mind
If
the
we call
kids
it
out there
primitive
with their
camping again and we
ATVs and stuff.
clean it up,
Right.
What bugs me is the vehicles out there, the
How are
trucks,
you gonna lock it up if you've got campers in it?
and cars going down in there and stuff. It- The hours they choose to do it.
Oh, they've been doing that. They've been going in there for years.
Yeah.
Years.
Anything else?
I do have one more thing. When I'm at work, you guys see me standing up, I'm not being rude or anything. I've got a leg that's got bad circulation and sitting in the chair hurts me. So I'm standing up leaning on my chair, trying to stretch this leg out. I'm not being rude.
I don't see
or
that as rude.
obnoxious or
Yeah.
anything.
I see you standing up.
Yeah, I
as being-
know you do.
No. I see that as being attentive.
Exactly.
Okay,
Being
well,
engaged.
I am watching everything, I try to do my best, but I've
No,
got
I
a problem with my leg.
I appreciate seeing the guards,
Yep.
waving at everyone,
Yeah.
acknowledging every car that
Yes.
comes through, everything. So,
make a motion to adjourn our meeting today. What is it, September 20th?
Yes.
yes, ma'am.
Second it.
2025.
Thank you.
Thank you. you seconded? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?